Welcome to Midday Update. Let's take a look at the headlines for today. His Majesty's Saudi visit reflects wisdom, assures better future, says GCC Secretary General. Eid al-Adha dates announced in Oman. Expo 2020 offers Omani firms a global platform to showcase their products. UAE suspends entry of passengers from Indonesia and Afghanistan. Bangladesh fruit juice factory owner arrested after 52 dead in Narayanganj fire. Queen Elizabeth sends England team good wishes ahead of Euro Cup final. Argentina beat Brazil, lift Copa America title. On our show today, we'll also be joined by Lana Al-Rikad, UNICEF's representative in Oman. But first, let's take a look at the weather update for today.
This is Maytha Chukeli with today's weather update, and right now I'm reporting from inside the TFM studio in Al Khuwair. Before we move on to our weather update, here is our fact for today. Blizzards are most experienced in the Great Plains and upper Midwest of the United States. That is our fact for today. Now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in the Sultanate. According to Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities, there's expected rainfall over some parts of Oman today. There will be clear to partly cloudy skies along the coastal areas of the Far and adjoining mountains with isolated rainfall. And there will be mainly clear skies in the rest of Oman with chances of high clouds advection over the northern governorates. And there's also chances of clouds development over Al Hajar Mountains in the afternoon. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 43 to 35 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 44 to 34 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 38 to 32 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 44 to 34 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 47 to 35 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be sunny, temperatures between 45 to 33 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 46 to 31 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 45 to 29 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 42 to 32 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 43 to 27 degrees Celsius. And Dhofar will have thunder showers, temperatures between 26 to 22 degrees Celsius.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 updates for today. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 52 new COVID-19 deaths in the past 3 days, taking the total death toll to 3,423. The ministry has extended its deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. The Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 3,217 new COVID-19 cases, taking the total cases in the Sultanate to 284,905. The total number of recoveries now stand at 257,689. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. Now for the local news stories. The visit of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia reflects wisdom, foresight, and extrapolation for the future, said the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC. His Excellency Dr. Naif bin Faleh Al Majraf, Secretary General of the GCC, confirms that the visit of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and his arrival as a dear guest of his brother, the Saudi King, confirms the great status of the kingdom and the bonds of brotherhood, as well as an embodiment of the solid ties and bonds between the two brotherly countries. And this will enhance the common hopes and aspirations of the two brotherly nations. In a statement to the Oman News Agency, His Excellency expressed the importance of this visit, which reflects wisdom, foresight, and extrapolation for the future, as it is a testament to the strength and depth of the solid and rooted relations between the two countries. His Excellency stated that the people of the GCC countries look at this auspicious visit with all appreciation and reverence for the blessed efforts made by their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC countries, and their great keenness to push the joint Gulf action to achieve the hopes and aspirations of the Gulf people in all fields. The sighting of the crescent of the month of Dhul Hijjah for the year 1442 AH has been confirmed, and accordingly today, Sunday, is the first of Dhul Hijjah, and on Tuesday, July 20th, will be the first day of Eid al-Adha. Company owners in Oman will be offered the chance to take part in an awareness campaign to help them market their products at Expo 2020 in Dubai, which is expected to begin this October. Titled The Road to Expo 2020 Dubai, the first activity under the event is a virtual workshop. The campaign is spearheaded by the General Commission of the Sultanate to Expo 2020 Dubai and is one of the national initiatives in collaboration with a number of public and private entities. These include the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, the Ministry of Social Development, Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the SME Development Authority, and Taysir Services and Transaction Center, which will manage Oman sales outlets at the country's pavilion at Expo 2020. The workshop will see the participation of Mohsin bin Khamis al-Balushi, advisor of the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, and the Sultan's Commissioner General for Expo 2020 Dubai, Dr. Abdullah Al-Mahrouki, CEO of the Industrial Innovation Center, Hamad bin Salam Al-Harthi, Head of Finance for SMEs and Portfolio Management at Oman Development Bank, and Nada Bassam of Taysir. Workshop discussions will be moderated by Ghassan Al-Roshdi. The campaign will run from July to October 2021 and includes a number of workshops and lectures delivered by a number of experts in their respective fields. These include marketing tactics, product promotion, innovation and manufacturing, and commercial and handicraft marketing, among other activities targeting small-scale industrialists and SMEs. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have with us Lana Al-Rikat, who is a UNICEF's representative in Oman, and she'll be talking to us about Upshift. You would have heard about it. It's a new program launched by Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, along with UNICEF. Now, Ms. Lana, I'll let you talk about the program, so welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
So, Ms. Lana, let's start with you first. How long have you been with UNICEF?
I've been with UNICEF for almost 20 years now.
That's a long time.
Yes, and in Oman for 4 years so far.
Right. So, Ms. Lana, could you tell us about Upshift and your involvement in the program?
So the Upshift, we basically launched last week with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth. It's implemented by UNICEF in 30 countries worldwide, supporting people to reach their full potential, but really giving them skills that they need for better chances for employability. So you're talking about the target of as of 10 years old up to 29, and we target them with different packages and trainings and also programs that they enroll in. What we're planning to do, we're planning to launch the Upshift in 3 governorates this year, and hopefully to take it to national scale next year. The special thing about the Upshift is that it's really built on evidence. We've basically worked on a number of studies and surveys, including the latest situation analysis on youth and adolescent with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, to basically look at the exact situation of youth, but not only their conditions, but their aspirations, their dreams, what do they hope for, and try really to use that as a base for the planning. The other special thing about this initiative that it's really a strong partnership between the private and public sector. So you have the private sector coming in very strongly to support the program. In the launch, we had already 50 of the CEOs of the biggest industries and companies in Oman that are partnering with the ministry and UNICEF on it.
Right. So, Ms. Lana, you were just mentioning about a research that was conducted. Could you tell me about the findings and how Upshift is going to help in the development of Upshift, the entire process?
So one of our other strategic priorities at UNICEF Oman is to help the government capture high quality, robust data that is data broken also down by age, gender, disability, and conduct analysis of that data in order to develop evidence-backed policies and programs that really focus efforts where they needed most. So it's imperative to have the relevant data on adolescents and youth before launching the Upshift. And that's why basically we engaged in two important studies. One of them is the situation analysis, and the other one is also an investment case for the new generation, mapping all programs happening in supporting adolescent in Oman and youth. So we basically covered 5 areas: education, looking at skills and schools to work transition, employment, and also we looked at health, including mental health, which is an important area, especially now in the context of COVID. Social capital, looking at social networks, relationships, social media, art, culture, sports, values, and also looking at youth engagement and their voice, as well as their participation. So in addition to the situation analysis that I've mentioned, the landscape analysis is important because there are so many rich initiatives happening and programs supporting Omani youth. It's very much important that they all come together and around under one umbrella, and that's what we're working towards with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth under their leadership, and the participation also of the private sector. And Upshift is one of the important initiatives that brings under its umbrella all these efforts as well.
Another thing that was highlighted was, of course, the 3 major packages under Upshift. Could you elaborate these for me, please?
So as a whole, the program engages children and young people between the ages 10 to 29. As you said, the 3 packages, the first one is for those preparing to enter the job market. Participating companies will establish an in-house unit to provide employability skills, training and recruit trainees, also for internships and other also as well as on-the-job learning. Academic institution will also be invited to support the skills building. The second component is the social enterprises virtual training package for young people aged 18 to 29 who will have the opportunity to participate in youth challenges and also in specific programs to receive technical coaching and also potentially seed money to fund successful ideas and solutions to come up with their own businesses. The third component is for the age, we're looking at 10 to 18 years old in schools, and covers skills development, psychological skills for resilience, leadership, innovation thinking, problem solving, communication skills. So this type of basically life skills framework.
This is definitely a great program. And how do you think it's helped other countries where you've implemented it earlier?
So, as I said, the Upshift already started in 2014 and running now in more than 30 countries. It has positively impacted hundreds of thousands of young people. It offers a way to reimagine education. I mean, we've looked at results from many countries, including Kosovo, where they basically had a large-scale implementation of the Upshift. It focuses on building the employability and life skills of young people, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, having disability, empowering them. And that's why in Oman, it's also working with the Ministry of Social Development. They have their program Tamkeen as well, that basically looks at the disadvantaged group. So there will be a kind of also cross-sectoral coordination to make sure that we have the right approach. Globally, Upshift is still scaling up, of course, and is being integrated into secondary school and university curriculums in some countries, some in vocational education and trainings as well, in youth clubs. So we can see really a momentum globally, and each country adapted to its own context in Oman, I mean, we've been like engaged in extensive planning with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth in the past months to basically tailor it for Oman, and we came up with its own name in Oman. It's called Narqa.
That's great. So what is the future plan of Upshift?
So as we've mentioned, it's an adaptable and scalable approach. In the first year, it will launch in 3 governorates, Muscat, Dakhliya, and Batina South. After the first year, we will support the government to take the initiative to scale and roll it out across the Sultanate. Of course, this would require doing costing, analysis, building on existing structure, and to make that happen. This is the first time Upshift has been launched in the Gulf state. Oman is the first country. So we hope this also will allow Oman to show its innovative approach to fostering youth development and employment. And Upshift in Oman will become a model for other countries in the region.
Definitely. We're absolutely sure. It's definitely going to become a model. And Lana, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about Upshift. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. You too. So that was Lana Al-Rikad, UNICEF's representative in Oman, telling us about Upshift. On that note, we'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with our international stories.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update, now for the international stories. United Arab Emirates on Saturday announced the suspension of entry for travelers and transit passengers from Indonesia and Afghanistan on national and foreign flights with effect from July 11th. The announcement was made by the General Civil Aviation Authority and the National Emergency Crisis and Disasters Emergency Management Authority in the UAE. The suspension will include the suspension of the entry of travelers who were in these countries 14 days before coming to the UAE. Transit and cargo flights to and from these countries will continue as usual, the GCAA said in a statement. However, the authority said a few categories are exempted from the travel restrictions. The excluded category should present a negative COVID-19 test obtained within 48 hours of departure, mandatory 10-day quarantine, and a PCR test at the airport, as well as another test on the 4th and 8th days of entering the country. According to the decision, the period of the required PCR test is reduced from 72 hours to 48 hours, provided that the tests are issued by accredited laboratories and carrying the QR code. People who are exempted from the decision include UAE nationals and their first-degree relatives, diplomatic missions between the UAE and the two countries, official delegations, businessmen after getting prior approvals, and golden and silver residency permit holders, holders of essential jobs according to the classification of the Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship, and also staff of UAE embassies in the two countries and crews of foreign freight and transit planes. Earlier, Dubai-based carrier Emirates had suspended passenger flights from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka until July 15th, following the UAE government's directives to curb the spread of the coronavirus. Bangladesh fruit juice factory owner, along with 7 other people, were arrested after 52 people were killed in the Narayanganj blaze. Among the 8, one of them is the owner of the factory and his staff, Zaidul Alam, the police superintendent of Narayanganj district in Bangladesh, said. As many as 52 people have died and 50 others were injured after a fire broke out in a juice factory in Bangladesh Narayanganj city on Thursday afternoon. The fire started on Thursday afternoon on the ground floor of a 6-story Hashim Foods Limited factory in Rupganj, east of the capital Dhaka, Debashish Bardhan, Deputy Director of the Fire Service and Civil Defence, said. The presence of chemicals and flammable substances like polythene and clarified butter contributed to the blaze in the factory and made it more difficult to bring it under control. 3 people died when they jumped off the roof on Thursday after suffering burns from the blaze, and almost none of the bodies recovered on Friday could be recognized. The fire was brought under control by Friday afternoon, while relatives of missing workers were staging demonstrations outside and around the factory premises. Police have opened an investigation into the cause of the fire and a large number of deaths. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the sports stories. Queen Elizabeth II has sent a good luck message to the England team ahead of the Euro Cup final clash against Italy on Sunday. England and Italy will lock horns at the historic Wembley Stadium to decide the next champion of Europe. After 2 epic semi-finals, London now hosts a decider which, for the first time in Euro history, will feature England's the three Lions who had defeated West Germany 4-2 in the 1966 World Cup final. The Queen was in attendance as she witnessed the high-octane clash. 55 years ago, I was fortunate to present the World Cup to Bobby Moore and saw what it meant to the players, management and support staff to reach and win the final of a major international football tournament. A message from Windsor Castle read, I want to send my congratulations and that of my family to you all on reaching the final of the European Championships and send my good wishes for tomorrow with the hope that history will record not only your success but also the spirit, commitment and pride with which you have conducted yourself, it added. Since that famous World Cup triumph at the previous Wembley Stadium, England has lost in the semi-finals over 5 major tournaments. That is the Euro 68 and 96, the 1990 and 2008 World Cups and the 2019 UEFA Nations League. However, Gareth Southgate's led English side has buried those ghosts of the past as they have seen off Germany, Ukraine and Denmark to earn their chance to end 55 years of drought in the Euro 2020 final. Di Maria starred as Argentina clinched the Copa America final for the first time since 1993, registering a 1-0 win over Brazil at the Maracanã on Saturday. Marias netted a goal in the 22nd minute to ensure Messi ended his drought. The final started off with both sides pressing hard for the goal in the early stages of the match. However, neither Brazil nor Argentina was able to get their foot on the ball. In the 32nd minute, Messi ran past the Brazil defense only to find out the edge of the box. Meanwhile, Neymar tried to chip the football but wasn't able to find the desired result. Maria's goal separated Brazil and Argentina at half-time in the Copa America final. In the second half, Richarlison gave Brazil some relief as he fired the ball into the net, but the goal was turned down due to offside. Brazil kept pressing hard to find a goal and even forced Argentina to turn on a defensive mode, but still wasn't able to find the net. In the dying minutes of play, Brazil entered a corner with Neymar swinging across into the box. However, Thiago Silva glanced the header over the goal post. In the end, Argentina defeated Brazil 1-0 to lift the coveted trophy. Those are local, international and sports stories for today. We'll be back with midday updates, so stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.